15 rounds of boxing for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing, in the red corner, from Easton, Pennsylvania, the WBC undefeated heavyweight champion, weighing 215 pounds, the Easton Assassin champion, Larry Holmes. The heavyweight champion of Canada. He is the 5th-ranked heavyweight in the world by the WBC. He fights out of Halifax, Nova Scotia, weighing 215.5 pounds, Trevor Berbick. 15 rounds of boxing.
Take a look at the tail of the tape. Holmes, 4 years the senior of Trevor Berbick. The heights and weights are very comparable. So too is the reach. 3-inch advantage there for Holmes. Everything else just about as it is. The difference, of course, Larry Holmes is the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, and Trevor Berbick is the champion of Canada. Berbick having one loss, tomorrow an otherwise perfect record, but that was a one-round knockout at the hands of Bernardo Mercado. Round 1, heavyweight championship here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And Berbick comes right after Larry Holmes. Berbick has said time and again that his idol is Ken Norton, and he has in the past tried to emulate Norton's sort of peekaboo defense.
The kind of fighter Berbick is, he must carry the fight to Larry Holmes. Holmes is going to move probably a couple of rounds and get the feel of Berbick. Berbick has a very awkward style, and he possesses somewhat punching ability.
Well, you saw Berbick taunting Larry Holmes. That's one of those things that you sit up at night after the fight and say, why'd I do that? Larry Holmes, possessor of certainly the best left jab in the game right now, and comparable to those down the line of the great heavyweight champions too. In fact, people have said that his left jab is as good as most people's left hook.
You notice what Berbick's stance is. He's very awkward, and he's really off balance a lot of times. And the only way he really can score effectively if he gets inside with Larry Holmes.
Well, so far, Berbick has not attempted to do so, and Holmes remains at long range. Good right hand to the face that time by Larry Holmes. Quick left jab. Very, very effective.
Oh, baby!
Berbick again drops his hands, taunting Larry Holmes, and I don't know.
That's the wrong thing Berbick can be doing now against a guy like Larry Holmes. Holmes is far too quick and carries a good punch. What Berbick should be doing is trying to get the fancy of the crowd and the judges.
We're in the first round heavyweight championship here in Las Vegas. Larry Holmes on the left of your screen, the challenger Trevor Berbick on the right. Holmes playing just a bit of a waiting game now, waiting for Berbick to come at him. Good left hand to the chest that time by Larry Holmes. Brings Berbick's arms down just for a moment. Berbick, a couple of lefts, one to the stomach, one to the side of the head. Berbick continues in that peekaboo, almost defenseless position. Does not seem to bother Larry Holmes at all.
Well, to a degree, right, it works. The little intimidation, the taunt, and what have you, plays a part, especially against a champion, because all champions hate to be shown up.
Now, Larry Bonds tried that against you. As I recall, that was in the 10th and final round of the fight.
Yeah, it really bothered me for a while.
We're in the first round here in Las Vegas. Going to have a chance to hear some of the conversations in the corners between rounds. I think you'll find it to be very fascinating. Again, Berbick asks Larry Holmes to come at him. And you can hear Berbick talking to him. And I think maybe he got to Larry Holmes a little bit there. I think he might have got to a little bit.
I think he did. I was saying earlier, all champions hate to be shown up, and the little intimidating that Berbick did, it bothered Larry Holmes, and you can see the results of that.
That's eavesdropping, Larry Holmes' corner.
Too much noise right here over that I've never seen anything quite like it. But I think something should be stated here that about midway through that round, or perhaps 2/3 through that round, there was a change in tactics. And Berbick, instead of becoming the sole aggressor, suddenly stood his ground and invited Holmes to come to him and try to land a sweeping left hook. Holmes would rather not have to do the leading, and after he caught him, that's when Berbick started to say, "Here I am, sucker, come and get me."
Well, we've talked about the psychology of the sport of boxing in the past, and you saw a little bit of it right there. Let's see how it affects both men. Trevor Berbick was the taunter, Larry Holmes was the tauntee, but Larry Holmes is the champion. Right-hand lead by Holmes comes up a little short.
Holmes is going to have problems with a guy like Berbick, because Berbick, you really don't know what he's going to do. He has a inside left hook. It doesn't really come roundhouse. It comes over and in. And I think it's going to bother Holmes for a while.
Larry Holmes' left jab has been picked off by the gloves of Trevor Berbick for the most part. Berbick goes upstairs and downstairs with the left hand. Holmes, the left hook comes up short. Berbick continues to taunt it. Trevor Berbick, a man with 20 professional fights, he's won his last 4 by knockout, so those all came, or the 3 of them coming after the John Tate fight. And there is a right hand that staggers Trevor Berbick. Best punch of the fight by far here in round 2. Berbick comes back at the champion.
Berbick's still a little wobbly, and Holmes realizes this. He's doing the right thing, and this shows a champion's caliber, experience. He's just playing with him, waiting for another good shot.
It was an overhand right to the cheek of Trevor Berbick, scored cleanly and wobbled the challenger's legs. Remember, Larry Holmes has scored 8 knockouts in a row. Good stiff left jab right on the button.
The kind of punch that Larry Holmes delivered on Berbick, you won't see. I doubt you see Berbick doing that little taunting again. I think he's understands that Larry Holmes means business.
Larry Holmes answered him that time. Right hand lands softly on the cheek of the champion, thrown by Trevor Berbick. The fight has been held mostly in the middle of the ring. We're in the second round here, heavyweight championship at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. Flicking left jab up on the cheek of Trevor Berbick again. Berbick has that left hand down around his thigh. Again, a combination by Larry Holmes scores, and Berbick continues to say, "Come on and fight." Looping right, same punch that scored well last time for Holmes, didn't do so well this time. Close quarters now. The referee will break them. There's a lunging right hand and a right hand counterpunch by the champion. Again, Berbick trying to get under the guard of Larry Holmes, content to try to work on the body, go downstairs. And there's a combination that scores against the champion, right to the head scores. So the best flurry of the fight so far by Trevor Berbick as we reach the end of round 2. One of the ushers who apparently he'd befriended here in Las Vegas, smiling, and he's having a good time so far. 2 quick jabs by Larry Holmes. Berbick again motions him to come at him. Berbick has shown at least he can take the one good punch. Took a good shot right on the cheek from Larry Holmes in round 2. We're in the 3rd round.
Berbick has such big shoulders that a lot of times that protects him from that overhand right. So Holmes has to really be very, very accurate in delivering that right hand.
Again, Berbick working mainly to the body with the left hand. Right hand to the kidneys that time scores by Trevor Berbick. Larry Holmes looking like he's just sort of measuring his man. Berbick steps into him again. Holmes again opens himself, content to counterpunch, and scores with the right hand. Left hand that time by Larry Holmes, and Berbick again says, "Come on at me." Both men in the center of the ring now fighting flat-footed. Combination of the stomach that time, and that's got her smart. Then Berbick comes back with the right hand of the kidneys of Larry Holmes.
Berbick, see, he can land some body shots on Holmes, and I think what he should be doing is continue to throw those body shots.
And there are 2 of them right there. Berbick is scoring with both hands to the body of Larry Holmes. But Holmes seems the stronger of the two right now.
You have to really appreciate Larry Holmes' speed. I mean, he's as quick as a lightweight.
And a combination of 3 or 4 punches sends Berbick reeling back toward the ropes, but again, he comes away from it seemingly unhurt. And again, a combination, but Berbick comes right back to the stomach of the champion. Well, so far, Trevor Berbick holding his own against the champion of the world. At least he's not awed by him, I have to say that. Well, so far, Trevor Berbick holding his own against the champion of the world. At least he's not awed by him, I have to say that. And a right hand there by Larry Holmes, and that doubles Berbick up. Again, a combination. Berbick still saying, come on at me. Berbick looks a little bit stunned right at the moment.
Those body shots that Holmes is hitting Berbick with is really bothering him. And I think Holmes is going to buy his time, wait for another good shot.
Right hand and a left. Holmes scoring in combinations against Berbick now. Berbick comes at him. Holmes continues to bang away back to the ropes. We come to the end of the 3rd round.
They showed each other a little bit more respect after that round.
I don't think there's any question, but those shots to the body by Larry Holmes in the last round left their mark in the memory of Trevor Berbick.
Well, you notice Berbick is in a little crouch now. He's stooping over because he's trying to protect himself from that body shot.
And again, Holmes works with that flicking jab, most of which actually have been caught by the gloves of Trevor Berbick again. And there's a right hand that scores right across the face. The knees buckle on Trevor Berbick. Larry Holmes, some good solid right hands in this fight.
What Holmes doing now is just picking his shots. You know, he throws his left jab and waits to get a good shot in with the right hand.
Had an ice bag between rounds up on the left cheek of Trevor Berbick just to try to keep any swelling that might occur down, and that's where Larry Holmes has been doing the most damage. You can almost see the champion taking command in the ring now as we reach round 4 of this championship fight. Uppercut with the right hand by Berbick, a little bit short.
That was a very dangerous punch that was thrown by Berbick because he was vulnerable by throwing that right uppercut for a left hook.
And it is deceptive how quick Larry Holmes is.
Now Holmes is on his toes, now he's moving. This throws the guy's rhythm off, gets him off balance, and a lot of times Holmes is able to score a great deal.
Right in Berbick's corner now. Berbick trying to force the action, but Holmes gets out of it with no damage done.
This particular style now, moving, it's going to bother Berbick.
Right hand lead that time by Holmes bothered him, no question about that. And the left jab snaps his head back, and again, Berbick taunts his man. Berbick with a wild left hand comes back, has Holmes against the ropes, but scores very little. Berbick now changing styles, really coming at Larry Holmes, almost bullying Larry Holmes.
Come on.
And Holmes just kind of fends him
off
off.
the neck, Larry, come on. 2 hands are free.
I know Larry Bond said that in the fight against you, Ray, that in order to have any chance, he would have to change his style throughout the fight, just so as he couldn't give you a chance to get set. What's happening now is Trevor Berbick is trying to follow that strategy, and he is being hammered mercilessly by the champion Larry Holmes. And another good right hand right to the cheek of the challenger Trevor Berbick, or in Holmes' corner.
The uppercut is going to do the damage because Holmes sees this now.
And once again, Larry Holmes hammering his man, and the two have at each other, verbally have at each other. I'm not sure but that the verbal damage that
Reruns here, Ray. There you see Berbick trying to stay on top of Holmes in the corner, but he's catching most of the punches.
The uppercut was doing a great deal of damage. And here, the right uppercut by Holmes and the body shots.
Reminds me of the ex-heavyweight champion of Canada, George Chuvalo. He'd chase a guy all over the ring, get him on the ropes, and then the guy would beat him up.
Well, the two anxious to get out to the center of the ring have to be separated by Carlos Padilla, the referee. They come back at it now.
I have a feeling that this is going to be the round that Larry Holmes is going to show everything that he has, everything that he possesses.
This is round 5. And Holmes with a left jab, and that stings. You can see now Berbick just react to almost every punch that Holmes throws. Holmes with a couple of flicking left jabs, and Berbick seems to have slowed down a step. And Berbick catches the champion with a right hand on the way in. Holmes is against the ropes as Berbick bangs away to the body, and Holmes holds on for a moment.
Now here we're going to see a real fight. This boxing match probably turned to a fight the way it looks now.
You got 2 hands free. Get hand up in there. Come on, get hand up in there. Come on.
Berbick caught Larry Holmes on the way in, but got a little careless after that. Turned to brawling. Inexperience showing a little bit there, I think.
Berbick seemed to be a little winded because I know he threw a right hand that didn't have any snap to it, which shows a sign of fatigue. The chasing, the holding, the clinching, all of this, especially with the big guys, the heavyweights, it wears them down.
They're in Berbick's corner, and the pace for the moment is slowed perceptibly down.
You can bang out on there. Come on, punch your way free. Let's go. Come on.
You can hear Carlos Padilla saying, punch your way free, punch your way free. A couple of good jabs by Larry Holmes.
Well, you know, Berbick is reaching now. There's no sting on his punches, whereas Holmes can release 5, 6
The head, Berbick. Come on. Get that head out of there. Let's go.
At any given moment.
Berbick continues to try to bang away to the body, and there's an uppercut that comes a little bit short. It's one of those ooh and ah punches, but no damage done. And as Ray Leonard pointed out, it's a dangerous kind of punch to throw if it misses, because it opens up all kinds of possibilities for counter punches.
From here, you're going to see Holmes do a little counter punching. He's going to wait for Berbick to throw and make a mistake, and he's going to capitalize on it.
Larry Holmes seemingly in control of the fight here. We're in the 5th round. That punch seemed to have some sting on it from Berbick to the body. And Berbick scores.
Cut the tree, Big Jack. Cut the tree.
There's a right hand right to the chin of Larry Holmes, but Holmes responds right back. Caught Holmes rather just stepping back with that right hand.
Cut the tree, Big Jack.
5 seconds near the end of the round here. Trevor Berbick actually has held his own pretty well this round. We come to the end of round 5.
When you see a big, strong, highly motivated fellow like Trevor Berbick, whatever his record and ability is, coming at the heavyweight champion, and you see that he just doesn't walk out there and win. He's got to work for it. It isn't easy, no matter how easy it may seem when people pick up the paper and read about it tomorrow or see the knockout blow if there's a knockout. He's having to work in there. Let's take a look at some of the replays here. You can see the awkward style of Berbick and how difficult it is for a classic boxer like Holmes always to get the measure of him.
With all the swinging that Berbick is doing, some of his punches are landing, majority of them are missing. It tires opponents out, especially the arms.
So we go to round 6. Trevor Berbick, the challenger. Larry Holmes up off his bed, waits for the challenger now, and they come to the center of the ring. Holmes gets up on his toes here to start the 6th round. And Berbick waits for him. Larry Holmes, very tactical fighter. Does what he has to do. Has scored 8 consecutive knockouts, so whatever he's done right for the most part.
Berbick is doing the right thing as far as cutting the ring off and carrying the fight to Holmes. One mistake he can't make, and that is to reach in on Holmes, because Holmes has a good uppercut, a good hook, and a beautiful left jab.
Yeah, in fact, Holmes has scored 2 knockouts with that uppercut. He knocked out Scott Ledoux with an uppercut. And he also knocked out Mike Weaver with an uppercut. Left hand slaps in on the face of Trevor Berbick. And again. Berbick does a little telegraphing of his punches also when he drops that left hand, I think.
Berbick's waiting to throw that right hand. He seems to be cocking it and waiting for an opportunity to let it go.
This is round 6 here at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. Holmes scoring with the jab in this round to somewhat higher degree of success than he has in the past. Spins him around, hits him with the right hand, caught him mostly on the gloves.
All right, break. One step back. Come on now. Attaboy, Trevor. Come on, attaboy, come on.
They break right above our microphones now. Berbick continues to press the attack as the crowd starts a chant, Larry, Larry. Trevor Berbick scoring pretty well to the body, actually. Well, this is the 6th round, and you have to, at some point, start asking yourself, did you expect Trevor Berbick to be around this long?
Well, always they say a guy like a Berbick can't go the distance with Larry Holmes. And I think Berbick is destined to do that.
He's proved a worthy challenger so far. I know that's an overused but I would have to say so far Trevor Berbick has been worthy of the shot.
It seemed to me in that round, fellas, that Larry Holmes almost resigned himself to say this is going to be a long evening.
How's it look?
Larry Holmes just said to his trainer, how's it look? Let's see if we can pick that up.
Keep moving a little bit more. Get that jab off of him. That's so fucking awkward. Yeah, I know he's on it. One shot at a time. Yeah. One shot at a time.
Yeah. Eddie Futch said to him, get that jab off, and Holmes said he's so bleeping awkward. Raw passions and raw language, as fans of HBO boxing know.
Well, providing
but this isn't a tea party.
That's right. Provide an insight that you just don't get a chance to see often or hear often. Part of the game. Low blow, and Berbick complains about that.
This isn't the Garden Club.
And now Carlos Padilla tells him to get some of the grease off the face of Larry Holmes, so time is momentarily out here. Also gives Trevor Berbick a chance to catch his breath following what he thought was a low blow. And Berbick bores in on the champion now. This is round 7. And there aren't a lot of people around who really thought that this fight was going to go this far. Again, Berbick really fending off Holmes' jab fairly well, catching most of them on his gloves.
The way Berbick's body is made by Mother Nature, he has good defense. Big shoulders.
Berbick tries to counter punch there. Catches Holmes up on the shoulder.
2 hands are free, Berbick. Punch your way up. Get your hand up the neck, Larry. Come on. All right, break. Come on, break. Come on, put that back clean. Attaboy. Come on.
Pretty good idea of some of the conversation that goes on in the ring by the third man also, Carlos Padilla, veteran referee. Right above us now, and Berbick chases Holmes. Holmes gets out of there pretty quickly. Holmes really is deceptively quick. I've said that before, but I think in a big man, you just don't expect him to be quite as quick as Larry Holmes is.
Well, normally heavyweights just rely upon power, and which a guy like a Berbick relies upon strength and conditioning. Whereas Holmes has speed and good foot movement.
Well, I think it's a fairly good bet he's not going to wear down Larry Holmes. He's going to have to keep pressing the action and hope that he can score with a big right hand. Again, going to the body. Scoring fairly consistently to the body is Trevor Berbick. A lot of his shots are lunging kinds of shots, though, that make it hard to come back behind a shot. And again to the body. And Holmes gets out of the corner right above us.
All right, one step back, both of you. One step back. Come on, one step back out of there. Come on, Trevor. One step back. Let's go. Come on.
Holmes caught Berbick with a good solid right hand in the second round. That buckled the challenger's knees, but since that time, Trevor Berbick has not really been hurt. Larry Holmes has not really scored a big punch. And all of those blows going on the arms, except the right hand of the head that did get in on Trevor Berbick. And both fighters now banging away in Larry Holmes' corner. Holmes getting the better of it right now. Berbick with a right hand to the kidneys that time. That momentarily brought the champion's arms down. And now a right hand to the face of Berbick by Holmes. As we reach the end of round 7. And the crowd comes to its feet. Well, I don't know who got the better of that, Larry, as you saw it.
Well, I don't know who got the better of it either. I thought that perhaps Berbick did, but the important thing here is that the question no longer is the fight going to go any distance? The question is, has Berbick got the tools to do something? Can he win? Let's take a look at this exchange here, because what he's finding, I think, is he doesn't respect Holmes' punching power that much, and now he wants to crowd him and come in fearlessly, and this is the kind of tactics I think he's going to need to win this fight, to just stay on top of Holmes and pound away. Now, as we see the replay, I think we can say that Holmes won that exchange.
I would say, I think this is the best tactic that Berbick can use, is to smother Holmes' punches and fight him this way.
He's got to decide now, not if he wants to just be here, but if he wants to win here, and how he can do that.
So we start round 8. Trevor Berbick very much around. Has not been hurt really since the second round. Berbick has been scoring consistently to the body of Larry Holmes, and now looks all business. And again, Holmes' jabs being caught up on the gloves for the most part by Trevor Berbick. And the crowd now starts to rally to the support of Berbick. A lot of fans from Canada here at Caesars Palace.
I notice Holmes steps back with his right foot and wants to deliver that counter right hand, but he can never really gain position to let it go.
Berbick continues to stalk the champion. You'd have to say so far, Berbick is fighting an intelligent fight.
I think he's fighting the most effective tactics and strategy. First to taunt a champion, and then to really make him fight his fight.
And he's taken some of his best shots.
Which helps in a while.
Yeah. He really has managed to fend off the jab of Holmes, which most boxing observers seem to feel is his best weapon. Right hand by Berbick did score, but Holmes came back with a left hand of his own.
Holmes instead of walking around Berbick, trying to get in a very comfortable position so he can really let go of some really effective and damaging punches.
Trevor Berbick, considering he didn't put on a pair of boxing gloves until he was 23 years of age, really looks very much the part of a poised fighter. He's had only 20 professional fights.
Once again, that was a very dangerous punch thrown.
There is a good right hand that stuns Trevor Berbick by the champion. Berbick fights back, though. Stunned him for a moment.
Berbick's taken some of Holmes' best shots.
And still he comes back at him. A little bit of swelling on the cheek of Trevor Berbick. Doesn't seem to be anything that really would affect him a great deal. I don't think it would affect his vision at all. Sort of a welt up on the cheek. There is another good left hand by Larry Holmes. Berbick fights back again. jab right at the moment becoming more effective. Berbick lunges in with a right-hand lead and a left follow that misses. Come to the end of the 8th round. Trevor's still here.
Trevor's still here, but I thought he fought a terrible round right there. He stayed just right there for Holmes, and Holmes hit him with 20 or 25 clean shots. Berbick hardly got to him at all. He didn't learn anything from the previous round, except perhaps that he had to pay too big a price to get in close to Holmes. That when he came to Holmes with all that aggression, that Holmes was there to meet him, and he doesn't want to take that anymore. If he doesn't want to take that anymore, he's going to lose.
Just like that round.
Because he can't beat him the way he just fought him. And you hear in the corner there, let's see if we can get this from Berbick's corner.
Take this.
You can't run it. You can't. Come on, now make him play.
Berbick fought a perfect round for Larry Holmes, and now he's got to find a way to fight a perfect round for himself.
Round 9 here at Caesars Palace, Heavyweight Championship. Larry Holmes, the champion on the right, the challenger, Trevor Berbick from Canada. Halifax, Nova Scotia is his residence right now, actually raised in Jamaica, fought on the Jamaican Olympic team in 1976. First put on boxing gloves in Guantanamo Bay in Cuba.
For Berbick to fight Holmes in the middle of the ring is to his disadvantage because Holmes can outmaneuver him. He's quicker of the two. Berbick's biggest asset is to fight his man against the ropes, smother Holmes' punches, and make him fight his own fight.
Well, Berbick now, as he did in the last round, and as Larry Merchant said, is back on his back foot and just kind of providing a target for Larry Holmes' jabs, which have become more effective in the last 2 rounds.
He knows Holmes tried to deliver that right uppercut. It's getting closer and closer.
That is a big weapon for Larry Holmes, that uppercut. We mentioned he's knocked out 2 of his opponents, 2 in the spring of 8 with that uppercut. And again, Berbick is talking to him. Berbick still talking to him. Might have hurt. Right hand to the kidneys. And he's been scoring pretty consistently with that right hand to the body. Again, a right hand to the body by Trevor Berbick. Doesn't appear to be slowing Larry Holmes down. Holmes looking to counterpunch. And again, the right hand dumps right into the rib cage.
Berbick's confidence is steady growing as the rounds progress.
Good flicking jab that snaps the head of Trevor Berbick back as Holmes gets up on his toes again and just kind of circles his man.
Well, those kind of punches by Holmes makes the guy lose his confidence.
Berbick does seem to have pretty quick hands. He seems to be able to sort of deflect. And there's a right-hand lead that again staggers Trevor Berbick, but Berbick comes right back at him and taunts him. And again, the legs started to go. And another right hand. Right uppercut that time scores to the chest of Larry Holmes.
Berbick is really a showman. I mean, he's taking some of Holmes' best shots and laughs at him, talks to him, which proves this is not really an easy fight for Larry Holmes, and I'm quite sure as the audience will see it, they know that's a true statement.
Now, a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard there, huh?
What I can say about that round is that Berbick says, hit me, and Holmes hits him.
That's right, but he didn't hurt him.
Larry Holmes is a professional. He's defending his title. He's here to win. He doesn't care how he wins. And he's fighting very, very well. If a knockout comes, he'll take it. He's far ahead in this fight, I believe. Let's take a look at a replay here and watch the best prize fighter in the world in the heavyweight division, certainly. exercise his great talent. There you saw a right followed by a left that staggered Berbick momentarily.
I just came on. I did all that talking for nothing.
Yeah, to look at Diane Holmes, the champion's wife. And we go to round 10. And Holmes, with a little bit out of the Sugar Ray Leonard playbook also, comes right to Berbick's corner. Holmes looks all business this round.
Well, Holmes is a real professional, and here is strictly business now. He's going to start putting his punches together, and they're going to add up.
I think Larry Merchant's point is well taken, that Holmes is well ahead in the fight, but Berbick doesn't have to run away and hide after this fight. I think he did what he had to do, fought the fight he had to fight, just maybe didn't bring enough forces with him. A little bit of swelling under the right eye of Larry Holmes also. Holmes now goes upstairs and then downstairs. And that jab really has got to ruin your whole night.
The left jab is a very important weapon and punch. It blinds the guy temporarily, gets him off balance, which enables you to throw a right hand. And this is what I see Larry Holmes trying to do, work his way to a right hand.
Holmes right now scoring with that jab almost at will, and there's a right hand once again to the cheek of Trevor Berbick by the champion. And another right hand snaps the head back, but Berbick taunts him once more. Berbick has taken some good shots.
I don't believe it. I mean, Berbick was hit by some very good right hands, and he's coming straight back.
It was set up by the jab of Larry Holmes, which has been very effective in this round. Larry Holmes also has that ability to just give you a different look every time out. Set you up with the jab and then came back with two right-hand leads, both of which scored.
Another reason Berbick is able to absorb a great deal of right hands is because he has that big bodybuilder's neck. Very, very powerful.
And again, the left jab right up on the chin of Trevor Berbick. And once more to the cheek, and again to the cheek, and to the nose. And the right hand a little bit short that time. But Holmes seems to have his man pretty well measured right now. And a combination, the left to the cheek and a right to the right cheek.
I think at this point now, with the way that Holmes is scoring, it's going to start frustrating Berbick, because Berbick can't land a punch now, especially in the middle of the ring.
And they have stayed in the middle of the ring almost exclusively. End of round 10.
That middle of the ring is perhaps the best and the worst seat in the house, because Trevor Berbick is just sitting there and watching Larry Holmes doing a number on himself, and he seems helpless to do anything about it. A few rounds earlier, Holmes made an effort. He made an effort to get to Holmes. Let's see that right hand. Look at the long, devastating right hand. Berbick shakes it off. It would seem he can't take too many of those punches, but he's taking enough of them. I guess when he tried to go at Holmes earlier and stay on top of him, he had to pay a price that was just too heavy, and he just doesn't want to pay that price anymore.
Well, here's the next time the three of us will get together. That is on May 11th, and we will be ringside at Madison Square Garden for a good heavyweight fight, I think. Jerry Cooney, #1 WBA and WBC contender, big hitter, versus Ken Norton. And Ken, of course, could be the last hurrah for him. If not, it could be once more with Larry Holmes.
Berbick is getting impaled by that left jab. He must do something about it.
Berbick has already given an award for going. This is the first time he's going past 10, well, went over 10 rounds. And he looks pretty good from now, at this point.
Neither man really marked at all so far. Berbick has taken the best that Larry Holmes has to offer. It's really hard to describe the impact of that left jab. You can just feel the snap of it even down here at ringside where we are. And again, a solid left-hand jab.
at a business standpoint, if Berbick can win or at least go the distance with Larry Holmes, he's in for bigger and better paydays also.
Yeah, it's easy to lose sight of the fact he only has had 20 professional fights. Again, Berbick pretty stationary right now, and Holmes just circles him. Goes downstairs with a jab, now comes upstairs. Last round he would set Berbick up with 2 or 3 left jabs and then come with a right-hand lead.
Right now you'd have to say that Berbick is just totally intimidated by Holmes, even though it doesn't look it.
Well, he really doesn't know what Holmes is going to throw next. Holmes is so quick.
Well, it's almost a teacher-student kind of situation right now. Larry Holmes, of course, the teacher, Trevor Berbick, the student, and there will be something to learn out of this fight for Trevor Berbick.
Not to fight Larry Holmes again.
That without saying. Once again, a right to the body scores for Berbick, but that's the first time he's scored in quite a while. Again, the left jab as Holmes dances around him. 2 more left jabs, right on the cheek, landing within centimeters of one another. It's really amazing how Holmes has measured Trevor Berbick here, in the last 2 rounds particularly. Berbick pretty much at a stationary target right now.
Cut the tree, Jab! Cut the tree, Jab!
Get a pretty good idea of just how effective Larry Holmes' left jab is when you look at how effective Trevor Berbick's left jab is. Berbick tries to fight back, chases Holmes out of there, no damage done. And a left hand, kind of a slapping left hand that time. Well, Berbick came right back at him at the end of the round.
Perhaps the end of that round foretells what we may see in the remaining rounds. Berbick is here. He's proven that he can stay in with the champion for 11 rounds. Now we ought to see some sort of act of desperation from him. Some kind of a show that he's in a fight to win it.
Make him fight. He can pick you off if you lay back. Okay?
You hear what his trainer just said to him? He can pick you off if you lay back.
Well, Trevor Berbick, I think, is a tired fighter right now. Larry Holmes has given him a pretty good lesson in the art of boxing in the last 3 rounds, but Berbick did manage to come back. And Berbick now comes out of his corner fighting, trying to move right at Larry Holmes. Keep him off balance a little bit if he can. Let's see what he's got left. Lunges at him now. Berbick again says, come on, come on.
Berbick doesn't really have the experience under his belt, but what he has is the determination and a good judgment of how he can beat a Larry Holmes.
Well, Berbick does not look like a man who's fought 11 rounds. We're in round 12 here.
Well, now he's doing what he has to do. The end of that round did foretell. He's coming at him. He's going to throw wildly. He's going to try to upset Holmes' rhythm. He just can't let a man stand there and punch you. Got to throw punches, desperation punches.
All right, break. 1 step back, both of you. Come on, get on it, Trevor. Let's go, Larry. 1 step back. Get it.
Well, Trevor Berbick has taken the best that Larry Holmes has to offer. Whether or not Larry Holmes has taken the best that Trevor Berbick has to offer remains to be seen over the next 3 rounds.
Get up, get up.
Interestingly, Berbick has been banging away, Ray, at the kidneys and at the ribs of Larry Holmes the whole fight, and I haven't noticed Larry Holmes' hands come down one bit.
Well, they say Larry Holmes is not in tip-top shape.
Come on, you guys.
He seems to be in pretty good shape to me.
He looks that way to me, too. They had talked about the fact that he sort of had a little bit of a girth. I don't see that. Came in at the same weight as most of his fights, within a pound or so.
Well, he's not hitting with his belly in it.
That's true.
Get him up, Berbick. Come on.
This is round 12. You hear Carlos Padilla arm up. Berbick tried to go upstairs that time with a left hand.
Berbick can take a pretty good shot. I think the damage that's going to be done is when Holmes go back to his body, because he's taking some of Holmes' best shots.
Two hands are free. Come on, bang it out of there.
You notice Holmes standing there and trying to gain leverage.
Combination that time sends Berbick reeling backwards by the champion Larry Holmes, and another left cross to the chin of Trevor Berbick, who covers up and now fights back. And again a right hand as Berbick gets it close, another right hand right to the chin of Trevor Berbick, who comes right back at the champion. But Berbick's punch is really ineffective, and Holmes is scoring with almost every punch. A left hand to the top of the head by Holmes, and a right hand to the body.
Well, at this point now, anything can happen. They're both throwing punches from all angles, all directions.
And we come to the end of the 12th round, so Trevor Berbick will be around for at least another 90 seconds, or rather another 3 minutes.
Right now, this is the longest fight that Larry Holmes has fought since he won the title from Ken Norton 3 years ago. And his string of knockouts, you'd have to say, is very much in danger. Let's take a look at some of the replays of the action there.
Threw far more the most effective punches, and here we see Berbick is trying to smother Holmes' punches, and that body shot that was delivered by Holmes did take his toll.
So we come to the 13th round. Trevor Berbick still around. I don't think there's a great deal of question as to the outcome of this fight, but nonetheless, I think there's really something to be learned both for the champion and the challenger here. Berbick continues to stalk Larry Holmes, a tactic that he might have been wise to heed during the middle rounds when he just provided a stationary target for the champion.
Let's get back, son.
Berbick doesn't throw his jab, he pushes his left jab, which seems to be bothering Holmes because he pushes him off balance.
Holmes scoring with a couple of jabs of his own, comes right back with the left hand. And again with the face of Trevor Berbick. Berbick back with the right to the kidneys of Larry Holmes, but not a real effective body punch.
You know, his Holmes' left jab is like a whip, it snaps.
Get up, Berbick.
Neither man really showing any marks. Here in the 13th round, Berbick has really taken quite a lot of punishment, but doesn't show any facial reminders of it. The right hand there did score by Trevor Berbick, but it was a marshmallow punch.
I'm trying to figure out why Holmes is not going back to Berbick's body. He hurt him in the earlier rounds with a good body shot that nearly took Berbick out of it.
Berbick again tries a lunging right hand that misses by a foot. Berbick's legs still seem to be under him now. Right above us now, Holmes sticks out a right hand.
All right, one step back, Trevor. Come on, one step back. Come on, one step back. Come on.
And again to the body by Trevor Berbick against the champion.
Clean, one step. Attaboy, come on.
Both fighters seem to have slowed a step or just taking a blow here in the 13th round. You can hear the crowd now start to chant, Berbick, Berbick. And Holmes started to lead yells and suddenly has to cover up. more. Berbick swarms Holmes onto the ropes, but no damage done by either man. Holmes spins him around, sticks out a couple of jabs, comes back with a combination, and there's a right hand that buckles the legs of Berbick as we reach the end of the 13th round. Crowd likes it. Very appreciative crowd here in Las Vegas.
There's a two-way feeling in this crowd. One, of course, is simply respect for Larry Holmes and his professionalism and how he's going about against his difficult opponent. Let's take a look at some of the action here as Berbick tries to get Holmes into exchange where he just might land a lucky punch, which I think is what this fight has come down to.
Well, both men are exchanging punches, but they're not really effective because of the way they're throwing the punches. You know, it's a lot of roundhouse punches, wide, telegraph blows. They're really not that effective, especially for a heavyweight.
That other feeling I want to identify now is a growing feeling of respect for the challenger. The mere fact that though he is outmatched, he's taken punishment, and he's coming on and trying his best.
We come to round 14.
You're not tied in. You got two hands free. Come on. All right, come on.
And again, the crowd takes up the chant of Berbick, Berbick.
Come on, step back. Come on. Step back. Out of one.
Looking at Berbick's approach now, he walked through in the last 2 rounds. I think you see here, he's going to try to go to work.
Berbick kind of laying now on Larry Holmes, still stalking him though. Both men seem to have slowed a step here.
All right, break. Come on. Come on. One step back. Come on. One step break. Come on. That's by the head. Come on.
Holmes again continued to just keep the challenger off balance with that jab. Not having the sting that it had in the earlier rounds, but nonetheless just there often enough to keep him off balance. And there's another left jab, and another to the top of the head of Trevor Berbick. The right hand misses.
All right, one step back. Come on, Trevor. Come on, Larry. One step back. Come on, Trevor. Quit punching. One step back. Out of boy, watch your head. Get back. Come on.
Larry whispered to Berbick, "This is it." I guess he means it's time to get out of there.
Hand off the neck. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Two hands are free, Berbick. Let's go. Bang your way on there. Come on.
Again, both fighters now, I think, having slowed perceptibly. Berbick gets one left hand into the side of the head of Larry Holmes, but it's an ineffective punch. And comes right back with the left hand again to the side of the head that sends Holmes back to the other side of the ring, but neither punch really packing much behind it.
All right, come on, Trevor. One step back. Come on, quit punching. Come on. Come on.
Looping left hand misses as Holmes continues to keep his man off balance with the left hand.
The way that Berbick is smothering Holmes' punches and rushing him, it's quite difficult for Holmes to unleash any particular effective blows.
Come on, Trevor. Bang your way free. You got two hands free.
And by the same token, Larry Holmes, of course, has managed to keep Trevor Berbick off balance and off of him generally. Counter punch with the right hand that time by Larry Holmes off of lunging Trevor Berbick. As we near the end of the 14th round. Coming up, tonight's presentations of Apocalypse Now on the East Coast and Central regions, and special edition Close Encounters of the Third Kind on the West Coast and Mountain regions. That'll all begin immediately following the conclusion of tonight's championship boxing coverage from here in Las Vegas. Both movies will be seen in their entirety.
Right now, Trevor Berbick is the Canadian Chuck Wepner, a hero for going this far and a hero if he goes the distance. Wepner almost went the distance with Muhammad Ali, finally got stopped about 20 seconds before the end of the 15th round. Holmes is a little disappointed in his corner. However, Before the 15th round of that fight with Ali, Wepner's handler says, listen, if you don't want big cars and beautiful women, we want big cars and beautiful women. Go out and knock this guy out. Wepner didn't do it.
Well, you saw the graphic there that showed you Larry Holmes' longest fights. He went 12 rounds with Mike Weaver. He went 12 rounds with Ernie Shavers. He went 15 rounds with Ken Norton. This is it, final round, regardless of how it goes.
Berbick will be a champion, win, lose, or draw.
Because Berbick has really shown well. No question about it.
I can go right up.
2 minutes and 45 seconds of boxing left here in Las Vegas. It's been an entertaining fight. You got to say that.
Step back. Come on.
Trevor Berbick knows he has to go get the champion, and that is a chore that is easier said than done.
Larry Holmes wants to really get Berbick out of the ring because I'm quite sure, being a champion and being the quality of champion that he is, he really feels that Berbick has no business being in the same ring with him.
Well, Holmes has fought there's no taking away from the champion. Don't mean by crediting Trevor Berbick to discredit Larry Holmes, because Holmes has fought a very, very intelligent fight. He has proven that he did not take this fight lightly. He is in outstanding shape just by virtue of the fact of how he is fighting Trevor Berbick here in the 15th round.
Holmes is fighting Berbick the best way he can. Fighting a guy like Berbick, once again, is difficult. It's not an easy task.
Less than 2 minutes left in this fight. The crowd really showing its appreciation, too. And I'd say really it's a bipartisan crowd right now. There's many people in this arena rooting for Trevor Berbick as there are rooting for Larry Holmes. And a good left hand by Berbick that time.
That was a good left hook by Berbick.
All right, break. One step back. Come on, Larry. One step back.
And Larry Holmes, I think, now is going to have to think twice about staying here and punching with this guy. Holmes misses that time with a looping left. There's a right hand by the champion that scores. And a left hand that gets Berbick off balance for a moment. A right uppercut scores on the chin of the champion as Trevor Berbick continues to pound away. Now Holmes comes back at Berbick with a left and a right. Under the 1 minute mark now.
Larry Holmes is truly a champion. Here he's fighting like a champion.
And a right hand by Berbick scores on the champion's chin. 45 seconds remain in the fight. Crowd is on its feet. It's been a good one here in Las Vegas. A right hand by the champion to the face of Trevor Berbick, who's on the ropes now. And both men are tired, but both men fight it out. 33, 32, 31 seconds remain. Right hand spins Berbick into the ropes by Larry Holmes. And another right hand by Holmes as Berbick comes back with his head on his shoulder, and a left hand by the champion. They're in Berbick's corner now with 15 seconds to go in the fight. Berbick with very little left now, just pawing at the champion. It's been a great fight here, a championship go that has shown both the challenger and the champion as worthy of one another. It's all over. It is all over, and neither man has anything to bow his head about in this fight, Ray.
That was a very interesting fight. Larry Holmes proves he was a champion. Berbick proves that he was a quality opponent and challenger to go in the ring against Larry Holmes.
So Trevor Berbick has reason to be proud merely for going the 15 rounds. He held his own. He didn't back off of the man. He did an outstanding job. And on the other side of the coin, Larry Holmes, who I think we'd have to say is the apparent winner of this fight, didn't take a step back. He punched it out in the 15th round with him. He showed himself the champion's champion.
Now here we see signs of determination by both fighters, the champions Larry Holmes and the challenger Berbick. Both are completely exhausted, but both want to win this fight really big. Berbick knows fully well he's behind on points, and here he just missed it with the left hook. Holmes scores the overhand right, and it's just a matter of time right now before the fight ends.
It's really reminiscent of the fight with Mike Weaver that Larry Holmes had. They were both standing toe-to-toe in the 15th round, too. And listen to the crowd. Berbick, that's got to really do your heart good as a fighter.
It does. And, both men are going at it, and it shows the will and the determination of the champion and a challenger.
He's ready right now.
You look at the champion, Larry Holmes. Now let's go up to the ring announcer, and we'll get the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Joe Swessel scores 150, 135. Judge Charles Minker scores 146, 139. And Judge Lou Tabbitt scores 146, 140. The winner by unanimous decision, and still the heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes.
So Larry Holmes is the winner. He retains his championship. Ray, I would have to say one thing that did surprise me. Scoring is on a 10-point must system here, and that first judge gave all 15 rounds to Larry Holmes.
Well, I couldn't really agree with that. I think that Berbick won some of the earlier rounds. But see, the crowds, they're booing and some disapprove of the decision. But Holmes is a champion, and you must be the champion decisively to take his title from him.
I think Berbick really did fight the fight that he had to fight to get as far as he did. And maybe it was just a simple case that, as we mentioned during the fight, there just wasn't enough Trevor Berbick.
Yeah, quality always presents itself. Larry Holmes, I mean, he has all the assets of a great fighter, a great champion, and Berbick, he'll be around for a long time.
You made the point, I think, that it's a lot easier to fight as a champion than it is to fight as a challenger, and I think you saw a lot of that tonight with Larry Holmes.
That's true. And every time Larry steps in the ring with a guy that they don't consider a threat, then it's all a put on, they feel.
All right, right now, Larry Merchant is with the champion, Larry Holmes. Larry?
All right, Larry, it's never easy, is it?
No, Larry, that's just to show you. They never give another opponent a chance. This man was strong, very awkward, and I project a lot of things for this young man. All he had to do is be in shape like he was for me.
Are you terribly disappointed that that's not your first knockout as defense of your title?
No, well, he broke the ice. I'm not disappointed. I don't think about that anyway. The public thinks of it. I'm just happy that I came out all right, and he came out all right. I'm very proud of that.
When did you...
Also, Larry, I would like to say, my boxing gloves that I fought tonight, I want to donate it to some people for we can auction off for the black kids that was murdered in Atlanta. And I want to give a little notoriety for the Operation Pusher Jesse Jackson. And I want to say hi to my mom, my kids, and all my friends at my nightclub round one. I don't care.
Larry, have you ever hit anybody harder who could take a punch as he did?
No, I think I hit a lot of guys harder, and they went. But this guy was in excellent shape. I seen him with Berbick. With Tate, he didn't look that impressive. But I hit him with some hard shots, and this man took all the punches.
What about his antics earlier in the fight? Was he just keyed up so high that he didn't know what to do in there? He seemed to get you a little excited.
No, I want to play the same game that he's playing. I'm a professional. I am a champion, and that's all that counts.
We know you're fighting
anonymity. And yet, oddly, the whole atmosphere in line.